Here's the cold, hard truth. When the power grid fails, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a full-blown crisis. Most people think a blackout is just a few hours of candlelight and waiting for the lights to flicker back on. But they couldn't be more wrong. Because when the grid really goes down, it's not hours, it's days, maybe even weeks. And trust me, chaos doesn't wait. Your food, rotting in the fridge. Your water, gone. Your phone, a useless brick. And the scariest part? You won't get a single warning. No heads up. No time to prepare. One moment life is normal. The next, you're on your own. This isn't about prepping for some far-off apocalypse. This is about surviving the immediate aftermath of a blackout. Blackouts are becoming more frequent, more severe, and more unpredictable. Whether it's a cyber attack, a natural disaster, or just a crumbling infrastructure, the result is the same. Total darkness. So before the lights go out for real, you need to know the 7 most critical items to have ready. These aren't just suggestions, they're your lifeline. And trust me, item hash 3? It's the one you'd never expect. Stick around because when the darkness comes, guessing isn't an option. 1. The terror of total darkness. You don't truly understand the power of light until it's ripped away from you. Flip a switch right now and the room glows effortlessly. But in a blackout? Flip all you want, nothing happens. And then it hits you. You're blind in your own home. The place you know like the back of your hand suddenly becomes a labyrinth of hazards. You fumble for a candle, a lighter, or your phone, but the darkness swallows you whole. You stub your toe on the coffee table. You knock over a glass. You hear your kids crying from another room, and you can't even find your way to them. This isn't the cozy, candlelit darkness of a romantic evening. This is absolute darkness, paralyzing, disorienting, and suffocating. When the grid fails, it doesn't dim, it vanishes. Entire cities disappear in an instant, leaving only the faint glow of the moon and stars to remind you that the sun won't return for hours. And in those hours, panic sets in. Darkness doesn't just obscure your vision, it messes with your mind. It turns shadows into threats, silence into screams, and small mistakes into life-threatening disasters. That's why reliable, hands-free light isn't a luxury, it's survival. Start with durable headlamps that run on rechargeable or solar batteries. These free up your hands, letting you cook, move, or fix things without juggling a flashlight. Add solar lanterns that charge during the day and light up your space at night without the risk of fire. Motion sensor LEDs can guide you through hallways and stairwells, conserving precious battery life. Light isn't just about seeing, it's about control. It calms nerves, deters intruders, and signals for help. When the world outside goes black, even a single beam can remind you that you're not powerless. Prepare now, because when the darkness comes, it won't wait for you to find a flashlight. 2. The silence that kills. Imagine this. The power goes out, and within minutes, your phone screen flashes no service. No Wi-Fi. No signal. No social media. No Google. You try calling someone. Nothing. You check the news. Blank. Suddenly, you're cut off from the world, and the silence is deafening. This isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Humans don't just survive on food and water, we survive on information. Knowing what's happening, where it's safe, and what to avoid can mean the difference between life and death. But when that information is severed, people panic. They make reckless decisions, driving into blocked roads, crowding already emptied stores, or trusting the wrong people. All because they're desperate for answers. That's why off-grid communication tools are non-negotiable. Start with a NOAA emergency radio. These aren't outdated relics, they're lifelines. Solar-powered or crank-powered, they deliver government alerts, weather updates, and evacuation orders when every other system fails. No power? Crank it. No sun? Crank it. No cell towers? Doesn't matter. This device was built for collapse. Next, invest in walkie-talkies. When your family or group is spread out, these two-way radios keep you connected. Forget yelling into the void. These let you coordinate, warn, and check in. And while satellite phones are great, they're expensive. Instead, focus on redundancy. Have multiple tools. A solar charger for your phone, offline maps, and printed emergency contacts. The scariest part of a blackout isn't the dark, it's the silence. Not knowing if you're safe, when it will end, or if it's just the beginning of something worse. That silence breeds panic, and panic leads to mistakes. Fight the silence with preparation, because in a blackout, the right message could save your life. 3. The silent killer, cold and shelter. You can survive weeks without food, days without water, but cold? Cold doesn't give you time. It doesn't creep in slowly like hunger or thirst. It strikes fast, without warning. It seeps into your walls, your clothes, your bones, and before you know it, it's taken over. And here's the terrifying part. It doesn't take a blizzard or an Arctic storm. A few powerless nights in early winter are all it takes for the temperature to drop just enough to turn your home into an icebox. Your heating system? Dead. The power company? overwhelmed. The thermostat, plummeting. You pile on layers, hoodies, blankets, socks, but it's not enough. Your fingers go numb. Your thoughts slow down. Your body starts to shut down. And that's when cold wins. People imagine death by cold as some dramatic, snow-covered survival story. But in reality, it's quiet. It's invisible. It's the thief that steals your warmth, your clarity, and eventually your life. That's why preparing for warmth isn't optional. It's survival. Start with layers. Wool over cotton every time. Stock up on thermal blankets, sub-zero rated sleeping bags, and emergency Mylar wraps. Don't just rely on your home's insulation. Create your own. Seal off rooms, cover windows with blankets or foil, and block doorways with towels. Pitch a tent indoors and huddle together with your family. Your collective body heat can raise the temperature enough to keep you alive. For heating, invest in indoor-safe propane heaters with CO2 sensors or kerosene heaters if you know how to use them safely. Even tea light candle heaters can warm small spaces when used correctly. But remember, these tools only work if you have them before the panic starts. When the first icy blackout hits, stores will be stripped bare. Cold doesn't just freeze your body, it freezes your mind. It steals your ability to think, to act, to survive. So prepare now, because when the temperature drops, it won't wait for you to catch up. 4. The hunger trap, food and survival. Hunger isn't just a physical discomfort, it's a mental trap. At first, it's a dull ache. Then it becomes a distraction. And before you know it, it's a full-blown crisis. An empty stomach sends your brain into panic mode. Your decision-making falters. Your emotions spiral. And suddenly, survival becomes infinitely harder. Not because you've run out of options, but because you've lost focus. Now imagine this, the power's out. Your fridge is dead. Takeout? Forget it. Day 1, you're fine. By day 2, you're scavenging for scraps. Cold rice, stale crackers, no protein. By day 3, you'd trade anything for a warm meal. That's why food isn't just about calories. It's about clarity. Stock your pantry with purpose. Think high-calorie, long-shelf-life essentials. Canned soups, chili, tuna, peanut butter, MREs, and energy bars that don't taste like cardboard. And don't forget a manual can opener. Yes, people forget that all the time. A compact stove or fuel tabs can be a game changer. Hot food isn't just a luxury, it's a psychological lifeline. A warm meal can calm panic, refocus your family, and restore a sense of normalcy. Ration wisely, but don't starve. Every calorie is energy, and every meal is morale. Here's the harsh truth. Grocery stores have about 3 days of food. Once that's gone, supply chains collapse. Trucks won't come. You'll be on your own. So store what you eat and eat what you store. Rotate your stock. Make it a habit. Because in a blackout, food isn't just survival, it's sanity. 5. The icy grip, battling cold and finding shelter. Cold doesn't wait. It doesn't creep in slowly like hunger or thirst. It strikes fast, mercilessly, and without warning. When the power goes out, your heating system dies with it, and your home transforms into a freezer. The temperature drops, and no amount of hoodies or blankets can stop the icy grip from seeping into your bones. Here's the terrifying truth. Cold doesn't just make you uncomfortable, it kills. Hypothermia doesn't need a blizzard or sub-zero temperatures. A few powerless nights in early winter are enough to turn your living room into a death trap. Your hands go numb, your thoughts slow, and your body starts to shut down. To survive, you need to prepare like your life depends on it, because it does. Start with layers. Wool is your best friend, far better than cotton. Stock up on thermal blankets, sub-zero rated sleeping bags, and emergency Mylar wraps. Don't just rely on your home's insulation. Create your own. Seal off rooms, cover windows with blankets or foil, and block doorways with towels. Pitch a tent indoors and huddle together with your family. Your combined body heat can raise the temperature enough to keep you alive. For heating, invest in indoor-safe propane heaters with CO2 sensors or kerosene heaters if you know how to use them safely. Even tea light candle heaters can warm small spaces when used correctly. But remember, these tools only work if you have them before the panic starts. When the first icy blackout hits, stores will be stripped bare. Cold doesn't just freeze your body, it freezes your mind. It steals your ability to think, to act, to survive. So prepare now, because when the temperature drops, it won't wait for you to catch up. 6. The lifeline, water and purification. When the taps run dry, it's not a slow fade, it's sudden and it's brutal. One moment you're rinsing your face or filling a kettle. The next, nothing. That low hiss in the pipes? That's the sound of your water supply gasping its last breath. Here's the harsh reality. You need water more than food. Your body can survive weeks without eating, but just 3 days without water, and your organs start shutting down. Your brain misfires, your decisions become reckless, and survival slips through your fingers. The rule is simple. 1 gallon per person per day. But that's just the baseline. Don't forget your pets, cooking, or hygiene. Stockpile water in every way possible. Bottled jugs, stackable containers, even collapsible bladders in your bathtub if you get a head start. But even that won't last forever. That's why Purification is your ace in the hole. Boiling works if you have fuel, but portable filters like Sawyer Minis or Life Straws are game changers. Gravity-fed systems like Berkey filters can turn murky pond water into something drinkable. And don't overlook rainwater collection. Just make sure your gutters are clean. Water isn't just for drinking. It's for cooking, cleaning, and staying healthy. Without it, hygiene collapses, illness spreads, and dehydration sets in. Watching your family ration sips from a dwindling supply is a nightmare you don't want to face. Stock up, purify, and plan ahead, because when the water stops, everything else crumbles. 7. The pulse of survival, power, and energy. When the grid goes down, it doesn't ask for permission. It just vanishes, taking your lights, heat, communication, and sense of control with it. Suddenly, your home is a dark, silent shell, and the helplessness creeps in faster than the cold. Power isn't just about keeping your phone alive, it's the backbone of survival. It's your light in the darkness, your connection to emergency updates, and your ability to stay warm, informed, and functional. Without it, you're camping in the apocalypse and not the fun kind. Start with solar generators. They're quiet, clean, and reliable, providing energy without the fumes or risks of gas-powered alternatives. Pair them with high-capacity power banks that can recharge from solar panels. These aren't just for phones. They can power radios, mini fridges, fans, or even medical devices like CPAP machines. Don't forget the basics. Battery packs, AAA batteries, and charging cables for every device. Keep them organized and waterproofed. The last thing you want is to dig through a junk drawer by candlelight when the blackout hits. And for those thinking, I'll just use my car, think again. Gas stations rely on the grid too. Once your tank is empty, your car becomes a useless hunk of metal. Power isn't a luxury, it's survival. It keeps you connected, calm, and in control. When the lights go out, those who prepared will still have a lifeline. Those who didn't, they'll be left in the dark, both literally and figuratively. 8. The invisible threat, sanitation and hygiene. When the power goes out, sanitation is one of the first things to spiral out of control. It's not glamorous, and it's not something people like to think about, but ignoring it can turn a blackout into a full-blown health crisis. Without running water, toilets stop flushing, sinks stop working, and suddenly your home becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, disease, and filth. Think about it. Where does all the waste go when the plumbing fails? What happens when trash piles up and there's no garbage collection? The answer is simple. Things get ugly fast. And the worst part? Poor sanitation doesn't just smell bad, it spreads illness. Diarrhea, infections, and even cholera can become real threats when hygiene breaks down. So, how do you prepare? Start with a portable toilet or a bucket system lined with heavy-duty trash bags. Stock up on plenty of bags, as well as cat litter or sawdust to absorb waste and control odors. Have a plan for disposing of these bags safely. Burying them far from your home is one option. Next, focus on personal hygiene. Baby wipes, hand sanitizer, and biodegradable soap are your best friends when water is scarce. Stockpile these items now because they'll be worth their weight in gold when the taps run dry. Don't forget gloves, masks, and bleach for cleaning surfaces and handling waste. Sanitation isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. A single infection can derail your entire plan, leaving you vulnerable when you need to be at your strongest. Prepare now, because when the grid fails, staying clean becomes a fight for your life. 9. The mental game, staying calm and focused. When the lights go out and the world descends into chaos, survival isn't just about what you have, it's about how you think. Panic is the real killer in a blackout. It clouds your judgment, paralyzes your decision-making, and leads to mistakes that can cost you everything. The truth is, most people aren't mentally prepared for the isolation, fear, and uncertainty that come with a prolonged blackout. The silence becomes deafening, the darkness feels suffocating, and the constant stress of not knowing when or if things will return to normal can break even the strongest minds. So how do you prepare for the mental toll? Start by building a routine. Structure your days, even in the chaos. Assign tasks to each family member, whether it's gathering supplies, cooking, or keeping watch. A sense of purpose can keep panic at bay. Next, stock up on items that boost morale. Books, board games, puzzles, and even a deck of cards can provide a much-needed distraction. For kids, comfort items like stuffed animals or familiar snacks can make a world of difference. Don't underestimate the power of communication. Walkie-talkies, radios, or even a simple notebook for writing down thoughts can help you stay connected and grounded. And most importantly, practice mindfulness now. Learn to control your breathing, manage stress, and stay calm under pressure. In a blackout, your mindset is your greatest weapon. Stay calm, stay focused, and remember, survival starts in your head. 10. The final line, security and defense. When the grid goes down, society's thin veneer of order can crumble in an instant. What starts as a blackout can quickly escalate into desperation, and desperation makes people dangerous. Looting, break-ins, and violence aren't just possibilities, they're probabilities. And if you're not prepared to defend yourself and your family, you're leaving everything you've worked for up for grabs. Security isn't just about locking your doors, it's about creating layers of defense. Start with the basics. Reinforce your doors and windows. Install deadbolts, window bars, and even simple wooden dowels to prevent sliding doors from being forced open. Motion-activated lights and alarms can deter intruders, even in a blackout. Next, think about visibility. Keep your home as inconspicuous as possible. If the rest of the neighborhood is dark, don't light up your house like a Christmas tree. Use blackout curtains to keep your light from spilling outside and drawing attention. When it comes to personal defense, the best tool is the one you're trained to use. Whether it's pepper spray, a baseball bat, or a firearm, make sure you know how to handle it safely and effectively. And don't forget about non-lethal options like loud whistles or air horns to scare off potential threats. Finally, build a community. Neighbors you can trust are an invaluable asset in a blackout. Together, you can watch each other's backs, share resources, and create a network of safety. In a blackout, security isn't just about protecting your stuff. It's about protecting your life. Prepare now, because when the lights go out, the rules change.